Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. Today's topic is going to be 10 things I don't regret, and it's kind of all over the place. I get these ideas randomly, and then I film them. And so anyway, I make a list on my phone. Anyway, and they're in no particular order of importance, but number one is probably a really important one, as that is my daughter. I 100% best thing I've ever done. And for most of my life, I absolutely knew I did not want kids. I was the oldest of my cousins, so I babysat them a lot. I don't know if that attributes to it, but I concretely did not want kids. I would say from around 17 or 18 on, I just basically made the statement I didn't want kids. And it honestly wasn't until late 20s that the idea of kids kind of started percolating. Thankfully, my husband, we were on the same page on both pages. When we first got married, we were no kids. And then we both changed our mind at the same time. And I would say still probably at like the 30, I don't know. I'm thinking 30, 31, we kind of started talking about kids. I was 35 when I gave birth. So, the geriatric pregnancy was on my paperwork. So we were definitely late to the game of kids, but absolute best decision. And I'm so thankful I have, Cora makes just life so much better, seeing the world through their eyes. And I feel like it's just grounding or something to be a mom. So mom is the best thing I've ever done. And I'm very thankful that I changed my mind. Number two, spending money on travel. We spend, instead of having a fancy car or whatever, I like to do trips, experiences. So I don't regret spending money on travel, on experiences, on making memories. My mom also died when I was 21. My parents were waiting to travel until I got out of college, and that didn't work for them. So I don't regret going and seeing things. My mantra for a while has been, if today's my day to go, I want to know that I've done all I can and be satisfied. And I feel like that would be true. I clearly don't want to go. I want to see my daughter grow up and become an adult. But as far as seeing things and doing things, I would have no regrets if today was my day. Number three and four kind of go together. Buying a house. I love having my own house. I love that my money is kind of going towards that payment. So I don't regret buying a house at all. And then number four is not buying a bigger house. I don't regret that. At this point, I'm thankful for it. Now, there are times where I kind of think maybe should we have bought a bigger house? Orange County, California is definitely expensive for housing. And so we got a house. Basically, everybody says, oh, your first house is your starter home. So we had considered getting a bigger house, and we could have, and I'm sure it would have been fine. At this point, I'm thankful we did not buy a bigger house. So I don't regret not buying a bigger house, because basically that will get our house paid off sooner. We basically have more money for the extras, the travel, the whatevers. And so had we gotten a bigger house, the bills would have been a little bit more. Electric, any sort of bill would have been more expensive because it would have been a nicer house. And so I tend to find that the nicer the area you live, the plumber charges more, the electrician charges more. And so I feel like our bills would have been bigger. And so I'm happy we stayed with a smaller house. This one is, I don't know, it just is what it is, and I do not regret it. I do not do drugs. I have never done a drug ever, not in college, not one time for fun, never done a drug. I don't regret that. I'm 43. I will probably be 83 and not have done any drugs. I have no interest at all. And then with that, I don't really drink. Now, I can't say I've never drank. I have maybe 4-ish drinks a year, and that's really not because I necessarily love it and want to. It's just, you're at a girls' night, everybody has a drink, I will have a drink. I'm not opposed to it. I don't generally like the taste. I prefer to eat my calories. I've never been drunk, which is not, I mean, I don't feel like I'm tooting my own horn or whatever. I feel like to each their own. It's just drink has never, to me, tasted good. I've never had interest in it. My grandpa's family kind of were alcoholics, so my dad always said that it was probably a good thing that I wasn't into alcohol. So again, I'll have 3 or 4 drinks a year, but it's not a thing I pursue. Number 6, I don't regret getting into like nicer skincare, nicer hair care. It has made my life easier, so I'm very happy that I, started, getting subscriptions and getting nicer products. Do I think you have to have nicer products? Absolutely not. But growing up, we always had the cheaper stuff and my hair was always frizzy, always a mess. So I'm very thankful to have options at this point. And I'm very thankful in a way for COVID, because with COVID got me into kind of skincare. I really took that and watched people's videos and got more products. And it's such a calming, I don't know, like moment for myself. So very happy that I got into skincare and taking care of my skin better. All right, number 7, LASIK. Now, my only regret with LASIK is that I did not do it sooner. And that was really only because we couldn't afford it. And I think I've had LASIK now for about 6 years. And because we did it, I think around 36, your benefits aren't going to be as long because eventually, when you hit your 40s, your eyes changed. Fingers crossed, I still don't need readers. And they say then you won't need bifocals. I really don't know, but I do not regret LASIK. It was something I'd wanted for a long time. I was nervous about the procedure. Both my husband and I got it. And honestly, my advice to you would be if you're on the fence about LASIK, go for it. The sooner, the better. Now, technology is better now. And it was probably better when we were 36 than when we were 25. So on that front, I don't know if doing it earlier for us would have been. But if you can afford it, the earlier the better, because then you get more years of benefit. Just do your due diligence, read the reviews and, pick a reputable place. But I do not regret LASIK. Number 8, one of my goals always was to have a kind of spa tub. And so when we did our addition, we did a spa tub. For the first couple years, I had kind of regretted that money because it was something I always wanted. And then I pretty much never used it. My daughter and husband used it all the time. Now it is something the whole household basically loves. Cora's always asking, are we doing big bath? Are we doing big bath? And so we use it, I would say, at least 3 times a week, if not more. So very happy. We kind of have a soaker tub with jets, and so I don't regret that at all. Number 9, I don't know. These things come randomly, and I don't know. This morning I was thinking about it. Making the bed. I never regret making the bed, which seems so silly. But honestly, it makes me feel, I don't know, put together is not the right word. But it's just nice. Our master, I generally reserve as kind of a retreat. It's almost always put together, put in place. So I can come there and it's just a breath of fresh air. And I feel like making the bed is just that. It makes you feel good, like you've done, I don't know, 1 step forward for the day. So I never regret making the bed. And then number 10, becoming a teacher. So that was not my original career path. When I went to college, my degree is in wildlife biology. I wanted to be a biologist at like a national park. And I did some wonderful internships. One was at a wildlife refuge. It was best memories. I still have a best friend, my roommate from that trip. We still get together. Her family is like my second parent. So I was going down that path to be a biologist. I graduated with a degree in biology. At the time, I don't know. I don't feel like anybody told you that to do that, it's going to be years and years and years of temporary. It's hard to get a full-time job. Everybody wants to work at a national park. You're also very remote. So your spouse, if they have a job that's more geared to a city, that's going to be a conflict. Anyway, They also didn't make much money. A person I graduated with just a couple years ago got a permanent job. So it's hard. Anyway, so I did 2 more internships after I graduated, and my dad was basically like, hey, I'm not going to support you, and I clearly was not supporting myself with these internships. So he was basically like, you got to do something. And at the time, IUK Kokomo, which was Indiana University, but the Kokomo campus in Indiana, there were like 2 2-year programs. One would have been nursing and one would have been teaching. And I guess I went with teaching because it would have used my biology degree. And I'm so glad I did. I love my job. I love teaching. I've been teaching for 18 years at this point, and most days it's not a job. I really, really love teaching. Over the years, the kind of red tape from the district has kind of gotten a little worse, but in general, I love it. I love the kids. I love teaching them science. My goal is generally, if they can love science a little bit more at the end of the year, makes my heart happy. And, you know, not only loving my job, but teachers get some good benefits. We get summers off, Christmas and spring break. The downside would be that I don't get to take a vacation whenever I want. So like going to fall colors in October isn't generally a thing I can do, but I love my job and I do not regret going into teaching. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I would love to hear something that you don't regret down in the comments below. Thank you.